We'll begin in child's pose to settle into our space, taking about 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose down the back of the throat. Moving into rabbit's pose, we'll gently roll onto the crown of the head, arms reaching back towards the heels. Again, taking about 2 to 3 big breaths. Preparing to set up for tripod headstand, we'll place the palms of the hands on the earth, wrists stacked underneath the shoulders. Send the hips and tailbone up towards the sky into a downward facing dog position. From here, we'll begin to walk the feet up towards the hands, placing one knee and then the other onto the triceps as close in towards the armpits as you can. You can stay right here or begin to straighten one leg and then the other, extending up into tripod headstand. To come out, engage through your core as you begin to bend one knee and then the other back in towards your chest until the knees are resting on the triceps, and then lowering one foot at a time back down to the mat and resting back in child's pose for a couple breaths. Preparing for our next variation, we'll go ahead and set up the same way we did before, sending the hips and tailbone up towards the sky, walking the feet as close into the body as you can, but instead of placing the knees onto the triceps this time, we'll slowly begin to extend one straight leg and then the other up into our tripod headstand. And to come out, slowly lower one straight leg and then the other back down to the mat until the feet reach the earth, sitting it back into child's pose. Our last variation of tripod headstand does require the most core strength. Don't worry if it's something you're not able to get right away. It definitely took me a while to get the feel for it. So we'll send our hips towards the sky just as we did before. Walk the feet as close into the body as you can. And then really engaging through your core, see if you can slowly begin to lift both feet at a time off of the mat. And again, maybe they don't leave the mat at all, maybe they hover about an inch off the mat, or maybe you're able to bring them all the way up into your headstand. Just honoring wherever your body is today. And to come out, we'll engage through the belly as we slowly begin to lower the legs down to the mat until the feet reach the ground, and then settle back into our child's pose, taking a couple breaths here. And now just taking a couple warm-ups before we prepare to come into our traditional headstand. We'll start by coming into a forearm plank. So keeping a nice straight spine here, pulling the belly in towards the spine. And then inhaling as we lift the hips and tailbone towards the sky into dolphin pose, keeping our forearms on the ground, interlacing the hands. Taking a couple breaths right here. And taking another inhale. On your exhale, we'll move forward to forearm plank. Inhale up, dolphin. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, dolphin. Exhale, plank. Inhale, dolphin. And exhale to slowly lower the knees to the mat, resting back in child's pose. And then preparing for traditional headstand. We'll go ahead and interlace the hands behind the head. Forearms are resting on the mat here. You want to make sure the forearms are tucked in close to the head rather than splaying them out. Sending the hips towards the sky into a down dog position. Walking the feet up towards the body, begin to bend one knee and then the other in towards the chest. Maybe you stay right here, or maybe you begin to extend one leg and then the other until you're in your headstand. To come out, we'll slowly bend one knee and then the other back in towards the chest. Keeping the core nice and tight here, and then lowering one foot at a time down to the mat and resting back in child's pose. Preparing for our second variation of traditional headstand, again interlacing the hands behind the head, hips up towards the sky, walking the feet up towards the body. Rather than bending the knees in towards the chest this time, we'll slowly begin to lift one straight leg and then the other up into our headstand. Slow and controlled movements, trying not to use momentum to kick up. And to come out, slowly lower one straight leg and then the other down to the mat and return to child's pose. So just like the final variation of tripod headstand, this last variation of traditional headstand requires the most core strength as well. So setting up the same way we have been with the hands interlaced behind the head, hips towards the sky, begin to walk the feet as close to the body as you can until you see if you can slowly begin to lift both feet at a time off of the mat. Again, maybe the feet don't leave the ground at all, that's completely okay. Maybe you're able to extend them all the way up into your headstand. And to come out, really engage through your core as you slowly begin to lower both legs at a time back down to the mat. And then we'll rest here in our final child's pose, staying here as long as you need to.